In the meantime, going live on YouTube. Oh my God, who's that old man? What do they go to? Where are they going?
Search at Kern Radio.
Search at Kern Radio. You can actually watch us do the broadcast, which I'm really, really excited about. Watch me. Well, that's what I'm saying. If we're going to do this, we need two cameras. We need another one shooting the guest as well. All right. Yeah, we're just yes, we are walking before we are ready. We do have a busy broadcast on this Tuesday, 24th day of June. Chris Burdick produced the broadcast. A tenuous ceasefire has been reached, I suppose. Who knows? I woke up with the Iranians bombing the Israelis. You'll hear from the president in just a second. Plus, I can't even read my own writing. I literally can't read my own writing. President lands to, the president is in the Netherlands, the global hub of the international law and the international courts. We'll get into that. Plus, the defense is resting in the Sean Combs trial. They are not, as we talked about yesterday, they are not calling any witnesses. And some of the experts, I hate to admit, agree with Scott Cox. A lot of the experts that I heard last night do not believe that the prosecution has proven racketeering, that Sean Combs created a criminal element, a criminal enterprise with bad boy records that used coercion and intimidation and violence and bribery to basically satisfy his sexual desires. And, these people know more about the law than I will ever know, so I don't see how I can argue with them. We're going to talk about Karen Read with Teresa Golder here in just a matter of minutes, as I talked about all week long, yesterday and today. It's one of the most ridiculous trials I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this thing, how incredibly badly they framed this woman, and how the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is not going after the family that's involved. The cop whose home where John O'Keefe was found in the front yard, and yet the investigators never went inside the home. Isn't that the most startling thing you've ever heard? A police officer is found without a jacket and without a shoe on, with two black eyes, a cut over his brow, and a bash that obviously causes his death, the back of his head. And the Canton Police Department, a little community right outside of Boston in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, did not go inside the home of the Boston police officer where the body was found. And then the entire family came up with this story that John O'Keefe never came into the house, and that one of the witnesses insisted that she heard Karen Read say, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." She said, it's as clear as a bell. And yet, when the investigation began and it went to the grand jury, she failed to say that. A woman confesses murder, and in the initial report, you don't state that. And then years later, when the trial gets going and the family's on the line and everybody has to come up with a story to frame this woman, you suddenly remember that she said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." We'll get into that with Teresa Golder. It's one of the most incredible frame-ups, and just so badly framed. That's what's incredible, that the state of, or the Commonwealth of Massachusetts would afford. Let me put it this way. The lead prosecutor, Michael Proctor, who absolutely destroyed the first trial, was not even called by the prosecution in the second trial. The lead detective. And one of the guys that was involved with the night and was in the house was hitting on Karen Read the night that John O'Keefe was murdered. It's just an incredible story. We'll get Ms. Golder's thoughts on that. We'll also ask her real quick, if we have time, what does it mean that the prosecution or that the defense is not calling a witness in the Combs trial? Are they that convinced that, although what witnesses could they call? Like, who are you going to call? Somebody's going to call and say, no, he didn't set up these parties. No, he didn't beat up Cassie. No, he didn't extort these people. He didn't take $20,000 from Cassie's mom because he was mad that she was cheating on him. How is that not a crime? I'll get into that in just a second. And we've got some other individual stories that we'll get into. Do you hear the story about the fitness influencer? I don't know this woman. Do you know her? Gloria Zamora. That's why you don't mess with married women, even though they were estranged. You just, I wouldn't even mess with this. I told you when I was dating Lori, she was separate from her husband and had moved out. And I went to Monsignor Craig because I was wrought with guilt and kind of afraid. Her husband was a cop. And I was like, yeah, they moved out, but they're still technically married. And her estranged husband, she went on a sushi date, and her estranged husband showed up at the date, shot the date first, 43-year-old man with 4 kids, then shot the wife, and an off-duty cop was in the area, heard the shots go off, confronted him, and shot him to death. Unbelievable story. And the woman, this fitness influencer, this Gloria Zamora, she had 7 kids, ages ranging from 8 to 24, 40 years old, shot on a date at a sushi joint. Just crazy, absolutely crazy. And the story that really shocked me and blew me away was 8 people died at Lake Tahoe. Did you see this? That it was just a calm, normal day, a little choppy, not so bad. And when I've been to Lake Tahoe once, Paul Sturgeon took me in for my birthday a couple of years back. And it was a little choppy. And it's a bouncy little ride crossing that lake. And they said it was kind of like that. And then all of a sudden this wind swirled up and the chops went from 3 to 5 to 5 to 8 feet. And several boats capsized. And the one that capsized, 8 people died, 2 people were plucked out. And those waters are cold. Don't think they're not. That water's coming out of snow, and that water is cold. Hypothermia sets in pretty damn quickly. It's a crazy story. And Vince Vaughn is going to join us in a bizarre time. We normally don't have late interviews, but we're going to adhere to his schedule, obviously, and talk with the congressman about what is going on in Iran and between Israel and the president's decision. And we'll talk with him at 5:30. And the Dodgers are on the road taking on Colorado. Good googly moogly. Did you see what the line is on the Dodger game? Take a guess. How much to win 100 if you bet the Dodgers? What do you got to put up to win $100 if you take the Dodgers? 285. And tomorrow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto takes the bump. It's 330 to win 100. Are you kidding? I would bet Colorado all 3 games. If you win 1, you cover your nut. And you screw around and win 2 out of 3 or get a sweep and you're in the money. But listen to me, I could have won $25. Instead, I'm going to pay the guy $100 tonight, as a matter of fact. I'm going to pay the book tonight. I'd still take that bet every day of the week. 100 to win 7. All I needed was a healthy Mr. Halliburton, who said, you hear what he said? I'd do it all over again. Yeah, you're an idiot. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm sitting out so I can be healthy for next season. And here we are in Game 7 of a World Championship. No, you got to go. You got to go. Oh, your boy, what's his name? Said he was faking the injury. No, the guy Skip Bayless. Can't stand it. All right, let's get going. When we come back, we will get into the tenuous ceasefire And the president is in the Netherlands. What famous city is located in the Netherlands, Chris Burdick? Let's give you a quick geography quiz. All right, I'll give you a hint. Pulp Fiction. But you're what? Say you're onto something right there. What? Think about that scene. Think about the scene that you just quoted. Le Big Mac. Where did he go? Where did Vincent go? Come on, you saw the movie. Where did Vincent go? Did you see what I did there? Where did Vincent Van go? No, anyway, he went to Amsterdam. Amsterdam. What is the Netherlands' former name? Think of windmills, lilies, the Dutch. That's what they speak, as a matter of fact, Dutch. Holland. It was once Holland. Just a real quick geography quiz. We're just getting started on a Tuesday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Teresa Golder joins us in just a matter of minutes, and hope you'll hang on. Late in the broadcast at 5:30, Congressman Vince Fong joins us. In the meantime, you're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Results from New York City's mayoral election, the communists just take control of the Big Apple de facto. We will discuss. That's all coming up on Fight and Buck.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Look who's here. It's the Valfredo family. Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen. Gino, I know everything begins with your incredible staff and your familial atmosphere.
I love what we have at Luigi's, and I love everybody that works there, and we're all like family, and then our customers are like family, so it's all one great place.
And Lynette, I know your passion is the delicatessen.
What I love about it is that when you have lunch in the restaurant, you can go next door into our deli and buy anything that's on our menu. Our best sellers are the pasta sauce, Luigi seasoning, freshly sliced meats and cheeses, specialty food items, and of course my passion, our wine shop. To see plenty of details and all the happiness at Luigi's, go to our social media at Shop Luigi's on Facebook or Luigi's Bakersfield on Instagram.
Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, where friends meet.
See website for the deals. Bills have been out of it. It doesn't have any credit decisions. Must be 18 years old.
Everything is so expensive. Our bills are piling up.
So credit cards are maxed out. Rent is due, and the company is right around the corner. Cash.
No, it's not right now. Just let me know when you want to kill it. I'll kill it at 3:30 when Teresa comes in.
All right.
But they can hear you right now.
Are you sure that was for us?
$5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right on her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular social income, you can be approved for up to $5,000 in cash. Out the next day. BillsHabit.com have millions of dollars to make, regardless of your prejudice.
Guess what? I went to BillsHabit.com and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHabit.com. That's BillsHabit.com. BillsHabit.com.
Cashback is unavailable on Cassie, New Jersey, Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas. Here, $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside. Just
I
by
want to put the KGET app. Did you see they got a new app? KGET. It's called KGET Plus, and you can watch the news live on it.
Really?
So you don't need like right here, we don't have an antenna or a cable. We could watch it essentially.
Yeah.
The noon and the 5 o'clock live.
What do you think of the new girl? She's not very good.
Maddie's her last day. Friday's Maddie's last day.
I know.
Better than that.
And they're doing a big old thing.
You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
So the Democrats are trying to do everything they can to water down the importance of what the president has done by bombing Fordo and sending a message, because the big story on CNN this morning was, oh, well, U.S. intelligence insists that we did not completely decimate their ability to make nuclear weapons. We just delayed it a couple of months. And like I said yesterday, there just used to be a time in American history where when it came to international affairs, when it came to foreign policy, we all kind of pulled on the same side of the road. But those days are over. And, why someone would leak that, because it was obviously leaked from either the Pentagon or from Marco Rubio's office or from the White House itself. Why somebody would want to leak that, I have no idea. But the point is that after so many decades, this has been going on. I told you the first time Benjamin Netanyahu cried wolf was 1996. We've been talking about every president since then, from Clinton to Bush to Obama, have all talked about they cannot have a nuclear weapon. And finally, someone has done something to send the message clear. And this is a very loud message. This message goes beyond Tehran. You know who else heard this? Xi Jinping heard this. Don't think they don't have designs on Taiwan. And now he realizes, holy crap, this ain't Uncle Fluffy. And if I put a embargo or surround the island of Taiwan, this fool's crazy enough to run it or to drop bombs on Taiwan if my soldiers are there. We sent the message that we're dead serious about this. This whole taco title that they gave this guy, that's gone. And did you notice that no one's talking about tariffs? No one's talking about mass deportations? But the Democrats are doing their damnedest to try to water down what this means. And it means a lot. And they're already talking about, I was joking, that they would never give him the Nobel Peace Prize. They've apparently he's on the list to be nominated if this thing holds. And I think it will. I really do. I'm always the guy with the glass half full. Or half empty, half empty. But I think there's an opportunity for peace here. I really do. It's all on Benjamin Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is in debt now to Trump. I think he owes Trump. And Trump got on the phone before he went to the Netherlands, basically reminded him of that, reminded him of the fact that, look, I did you a solid. They can't reach us. I did this for you and our relationship with Israel and trying to create peace in the Middle East. As crazy as that sounds. And that's what Democrats just can't seem to understand, that sometimes you have to use force to create peace. It's the old lesson that I've talked about that you got to teach kids. Sometimes you got to take an ass whooping as a kid. Sometimes you got to take an ass whooping as a kid and confront the bully, and the bully will go away. Well, Iran has been the head of the snake for years, and their proxies. You notice how the Houthis have suddenly been quiet. Hezbollah has been quiet. The Russians don't want to get involved with this. China doesn't want to get involved in this. And all the obstacles and all the problems that all the liberals wanted to put forward, if in fact the president had gone along with what he did, has never emerged, has it? What was the first thing they said? Well, they're going to block the Strait of Hormuz, and gas prices will be $10 a gallon, and it'll be an economic crisis. We'll go into recession. They never seem to remind the American public that they're trying to convince of this, that the Chinese get that gas as well, that oil as well. They get about 38% of it. And if you really think the Iranians were going to screw the Chinese, it just doesn't make sense. But they don't want you to know that. They just want to put up the obstacles and the problems and the issues that would happen. And then after the fact, you almost had to know that they were going to come out and say, well, either the trucks that we talked about yesterday that were lined up that they took the picture of move the uranium, or those 30,000 pound bombs didn't decimate Fordo. Come on, man. Come on. That's ridiculous. And it's not as if U.S. intelligence is always spot on. Let's point that out right there. And of course, as we talked about, Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard, completely out of the picture. They have absolutely no say, no input. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say I told you so, but I told you so. They should have never, ever, and like I said, when we were going through this, I think every president has the right to select whoever the hell they want, and they should get where they want. But Pete Hegseth was not qualified for this position. He was out of control, inebriate. I haven't doubted that phrase after getting called it. What did that guy call me? What was the first one? I forget what the first one was. Yeah. And I can't remember. But that's Pete Hegseth. And the president doesn't want, it's called the kitchen cabinet guys that have the president's ear. And clearly Hegseth doesn't. Clearly Tulsi Gabbard. You don't embarrass your head of intelligence like that by saying, Mr. President, Tulsi Gabbard said this. Well, I don't believe it. Do we have time to play the bites at all? God damn. We'll get to that. You will hear from the president, who spoke of this on Air Force One on his way to the Netherlands. You will also hear from AOC, the woman who is putting forward the ridiculous idea of impeaching the president. You heard what the president said. Instead of the constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, where I also lived at a short period of time, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district that she represents and which she never gets to anymore. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. So go ahead and try and impeach me again. Make my day. Teresa Golder joins us next.
Triple-digit heat that has been seen in some places in more than a decade. Heat wave is especially threatening because it's hitting cities like Boston, New York, and Philadelphia with near record temperatures, and doing so very early in the summer. A fractal ceasefire.
Hello, good. How are you?
How was your show today?
It's all fun.
What did you talk about?